Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about makeup I would recommend to my worst enemy. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. So this video was fully inspired by Kelly Gooch. I think she was the creator of this video. There have been several others to do it since then, and this is just a really fun spin on worst makeup of the year or just in general. And that's kind of what I've done. I've pulled some products that I really hated this year, but I've also pulled products that I really hated from previous years. And like I said, this is all in good fun. I'm not actually this shady, but let's just hop right into it. If my worst enemy asked me for the best foundation, I would recommend the Patrick Ta Cream Foundation and Finishing Powder Duo, because I would say, you know, this is great. It comes in a really pretty package. You get such a convenient little setup here. You get your foundation and your setting powder. It's Patrick Ta. He can't do any wrong, so this is great. What I would not mention is that this is a very strange cream. It's fine if you go in and sheer layers, but if you go in and you build it too much, it's just gonna be heavy, it's gonna break up, it's gonna be a mess. And on my dry skin, somehow I end up looking oily by the end of the day, which is very strange. And then when you add this powder on top, this is actually my answer for the powder as well, because when you go in with the powder, it just goes directly into your pores. So now you've got white dots all over your face, and it just emphasizes all of your worst texture. Clings to dry patches, showcases your pores really beautifully. So, you know, I think I would totally recommend this to my worst enemy as the foundation. And for a concealer recommendation, I don't fully have a concealer that I hate, so I pulled the worst one in my collection. And for me, that's honestly the Tarte Hydro Sealer. You'll notice I really haven't used a lot of this because I just really don't like it. But I would say, you know, I really enjoy Tarte. They have great products. They're known for having great concealers like the Shape Tape, but this is the best one of all because it's really, really thin and it just looks really pretty on the under eyes. What I would fail to mention is that yes, it is super thin, but it does absolutely nothing under the eyes. Like, it doesn't even really give you coverage. I'm not fully sure what the purpose of this is. I don't think it's very long lasting, so for that reason, I would definitely have to say the Tarte Hydro Sealer if I had to pick one. I don't have a concealer that I would highly recommend to that person, but if I had to pick one, it would be this one. Quickly looking at a brow pencil, I would honestly recommend the Huda Beauty Palm Brows because Huda Beauty is one of my favorites. She has such great products, and this is really, really fine, so you can really draw in all of those brow hairs. Like, very, very precise. Love it. What I would not mention is that because it is so tiny and so fine, it breaks if you roll it up too much. So essentially you're just breaking the product and you're wasting money. So I would say to get this, because it's so great, make sure to roll up enough product because it does take a little bit extra because it is so fine, and just go in and fill in your brows. And you get a spoolie on the other end, so it's like the perfect brow pencil. This would definitely be the one I would recommend. Going into bronzer, I kind of have a multi-use product for this, and I would suggest the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Perfector. And I would recommend this because with this one, you get a matte bronzer, you get a highlight, and you get a setting powder all in one compact. How great is that? And you can even just swirl everything together and put it all over your face. It is supposed to be the skin perfector, and in Makeup by Mario's videos, that's exactly how he shows using it, and it looks super beautiful on the models. What I would not mention is that it's impossible to pick up just one of these products, just the bronzer, without getting a whole bunch of glitter. And even if you do like a shimmery bronzer, the way the demo of this shows putting it all over your face, you're just gonna get glitter all over your face, and it's gonna be a hot mess. So I would definitely recommend this one just because, you know, you get 3 products in one, and it's Makeup by Mario. He can't do any wrong either, so I would definitely recommend this one if you're looking for a bronzer because you really get the highlight effect as well. Let's say this person was looking for an eyeshadow palette. So if you're looking for neutrals, I would highly recommend the Huda Beauty Caramel Brown Obsessions. This is just a really nice warm tone neutral palette. Definitely great everyday colors, a nice mix of shimmers and mattes, and there's good depth in here. I would recommend this one. What I wouldn't say is that although the mattes are fine, the shimmers in here are so inconsistent. Some of them have no pigment at all, and this is a big waste of money. I wouldn't say those things, of course. I would just say that this is a really pretty warm tone palette. Great for every day. Huda Beauty, she is also a genius, so totally recommend this one. But if this person was looking for a more colorful palette option, I would recommend the Too Faced Too Femme eyeshadow palette. Look at this packaging. It is so stunning, and the color story is absolutely beautiful. It's gorgeous. And then they made the shades that you're probably going to use the most big, so you get twice as much product. What I would not mention is that there is literally no pigment in some of these shades. In these more pastel shades, there is no pigment. It takes forever to build this up. And then some of the shimmers are just chunky. I do not love this, and it's really expensive for what it is. So this is probably among Too Faced's worst palettes, but I would highly recommend it to this person. Okay, now let's think. If this person said, yeah, I don't really need an eyeshadow palette, I'm more of a one and done type of person, can you recommend like a single shadow that I could just wear every day? Of course, I would highly recommend the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Eyes to Mesmerize. I have 2 shades here. That's how much I like them. They're matte, so they're very wearable for every single day. I love Charlotte Tilbury. You know, I'm a huge fan of hers. And they come in these pretty little pots. So good. But you have to get the matte ones. What I would not mention is that the shimmer formula of these is actually really good. These are not. These are awful. I will just tell you right now, these Matte Eyes to Mesmerize are easily the worst product I tried in the entire year of 2022. The worst product. And they also shocked me because I love Charlotte Tilbury, but this is what they look like. They look very creamy, but when you touch them, they're actually more of a hard clay. I think they actually might be completely dried out now. I think they're completely unusable at this point. They're terrible. Even when I got them, they looked like this, and I thought, wow, these are so creamy. I'm almost afraid to dip my fingers in or a brush, and then I touched them and they were just hard. So I warmed them up with a finger, I would put them on the eye, and before I could blend them out, they'd already dried down. So then that was a whole situation. And then if you can get them to blend out, they will dry down. And they will stick around all day, but they're really not gonna look good, and you really can't put anything else on with them, and they're just really dry. I'm pretty sure mine are already dried out and dead. Meanwhile, I've got the shimmer formula, and those are still going strong. But yeah, I would totally recommend these as a one and done shadow if this person asked. For blush, I think what I would recommend the most, and I unfortunately don't have it because I passed mine on to somebody else, to share the love a little bit, would be the Maybelline Cheeky, because these are so affordable for Maybelline. They're a cream blush. They look really pretty. I would grab one of those. What I wouldn't mention is they disappear within 0.5 seconds. They're described as being a sheer gel formula, and they are sheer. They're so sheer you can't even see them. That's what I'd recommend, but if they were looking for a powder blush, I would probably recommend the Physicians Formula Matte Minoy Butter Blush, and if this person was near my skin tone, I would recommend the Mauve Mattes, because this one actually has a lot of kick up, and because you can see there's a lot of pigment in the blush itself, there's a lot of different shades. When you swirl your brush in, it's never consistently the same shade, so you really don't know what you're gonna get when you put this on the face. So I think this is a great one. I would of course tell this person that I love Physicians Formula. Their butter line is so good. The butter bronzer is one of my absolute favorites, and this is a really nice matte blush. This is not going to be totally shiny. And for setting spray, I would of course recommend the Maybelline Glass Spray, because it's going to give you a really pretty glowy look to the skin. What I wouldn't mention is that this does indeed give you glass skin, but the spritzer is also kind of like a water gun to the face, so it's very, very aggressive, and because it's that glass skin formula, it just leaves droplets and you can't get rid of them. But, you know, it's a really pretty glowy product. I figured out the only way to use this and not get that is to spray this on a brush and kind of just dab it on the face. I would not share that knowledge though. And finally, for lips, I don't have a lip liner I would recommend, but I have a lipstick that is just going to last all day and it's gonna look great. This is the liquid lipstick from ABH because it is a liquid lipstick. It's really gonna dry down and last all day long. And this is a really pretty color, especially this is the shade Haze. Really pretty, but they have such a good shade range. You can pick whatever you want. ABH is also a really great brand, so totally recommend these. What I wouldn't mention is that this is the driest liquid lipstick formula of all time. These are so dry. So my trick with a liquid lipstick is to always go in when my lips are looking their best. This one, even if you do that, it's still going to dry right into lines and it's instantly just going to look cracked and messy. These are awful, but that's what I would recommend to this person. But that is it. That is the full face of makeup that I would recommend to my worst enemy. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the more lighthearted worst of style video. This was really fun to do and I was definitely giggling to myself the entire time. Anyways, that is it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching and I will see you in my next one. Bye!